Jay Cutler again out for the Chicago Bears. I'm Jim Basquel, joined by Eric Allen. And Cutler came back from the groin injury, Eric, on Sunday. And then he has a high ankle sprain, so he'll be out for some time. It's a week-to-week timetable thus far for him. But right now, Josh McCown will take over at quarterback. How does that impact the Chicago offense?
Well, again, going back, I think it was the wrong decision to play Jay Cutler when you're facing the Detroit Lions, who have just a phenomenal front seven, and those two tackles really do an outstanding job of getting after you. So it's going to force the quarterback to be able to move and get around in that pocket. When you have a groin, even if it's 80, 90%, it's 80 or 90%, not 100%. So again, other issues are going to pop up, and that's why the high ankle sprain, you're trying to avoid the sack. Okay, I think right now Josh McCown could be my quarterback. They're in good hands when they have a capable backup, and that's what he's there to do, to be the backup quarterback. And when you have a backup quarterback who plays really well for you, don't be afraid to play him. And when your number one quarterback is banged up and not 100%, particularly against the Lions, which is a game that was so meaningful, you need to win that football game with that outstanding defense up front. So again, more onus is going to be on the running game in Forte, and you have to find a way to have those receivers start to play consistent. And Alshon Jeffries has had some pretty good games, and he's developing into a number 2 receiver. But your number 1 receiver has to be more consistent each and every week, making those big plays for you, and that's Brandon Marshall.
You know, there is the thought process, though. Jay Cutler did leave a playoff game when he got banged up. I think it was the NFC Championship game, and he took some criticism for that. You know, Cutler, do you give the player the benefit of the doubt if he says, I know my body and I want to play, and maybe the coaching staff thinks that maybe 80% of Jay Cutler is better than 100% of the backup? Do you give the benefit of the doubt to the player? You saw DeMarcus Ware playing for the Cowboys on Sunday night on pretty much one leg.
Right.
That's the player who's achieved things in the league. Perhaps he deserves the benefit of the doubt if he wants to play.
Every player wants to play, and I'm not one to question anyone's toughness. And I think if you play quarterback in this league for over 2 or 3 years, you're a tough guy. So I never question his toughness. But again, for the coach to put his team, and quarterback's a little differently in any other position, as we know, because if you're a position player other than quarterback, you can find your way around and kind of gimp your way through certain situations and take a breather at times. At quarterback, you're called to be on the field every single down. You can't take a down off. I thought that their quarterback was capable of doing that. So again, I understand players want to play, and you're going to say, hey, I can go and I'm 80% or I'm 90%, I can get through it. But looking at the situation of the game and who you're playing, I thought it would have been a better decision to play Josh and have him as a capable, 100% ready to go. You know he has some experience with the offense. He's had some success with your football team, and you don't have to worry about your job being taken. And I think Cutler should be that kind of player where you don't have to worry about a guy playing behind you. He's your backup, and you try and support him and help him. But I think that was a decision that was made. And we heard Trestman later on say that
I should have taken him out earlier.
I should have taken him out earlier. If you have to take him out earlier, don't play him at all. Allow your backup to do his job.
Well, he suffered the high ankle sprain during the course.
I understand that.
So, but the thing about the Bears is they're still in the hunt right now. You like McCown. They're only one game out of first place, and they're still in the fight for the wild card as well in the NFC. But for Cutler himself, this is a player that's a soon-to-be free agent. I'm talking about $100 million contract money here. Has he played his last down as a member of the Chicago Bears?
I don't think so. I think he's going to get that contract. When you look around the league and you look at the Tony Romos, you look at the Phillip Rivers, you look at all those players that are in that group. They're not really elite, but they're effective quarterbacks who are running football teams in the face of the franchise. I think Cutler is the face of that franchise in Chicago. I think he has some good pieces as far as the receivers are concerned. Got Forte. Defensively right now, you're banged up. You're hurt a little bit, so you're not the same type of Bears team. But I think he's in that category, and I think he's played well enough to get that contract.
Can't argue that point. He is. He and Cutler are right there. He and Romo are right there among the league's best quarterbacks. Again, Jay Cutler, a high ankle sprain. He went into the game on Sunday with a groin injury. He is banged up. Again, Josh McCown will take over under center for the Chicago Bears. You can read more about this story right here on ESPN.com. But for Eric Allen, I'm Jim Basquel.